Hello guys and welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies, and in today's video we are going to be reviewing WandaVision Season 1 Episode 4. Now, to start out with, what do you see, and there's the, well, wow, this is actually a really great episode, and I'm almost speechless from it. It just wow, it's that good of an episode, and we are going to get into it in today's video. And this explains a lot, and yet it just brings up so many more questions. It's actually very, very insane. So, WandaVision. And this was sort of my theory going into it, right? Especially after we saw the first couple of episodes of the show, was I figured, okay, we have S.H.I.E.L.D. involved. S.W.O.R.D. involved into this, right? And S.W.O.R.D. usually handles alien life forms, right? And I figured, and while it could still be true, I don't think it is anymore. I figured S.W.O.R.D. could actually be trying to help Wanda out of something. She was probably captured by possible aliens. They tortured her, and because of that torture, she eventually relapsed into a world of her own creations. And my explanation of why it was a sitcom was, and this part could be true, is she probably saw a bunch of sitcoms when she was a little girl, and she probably thought that the sitcom life was the perfect life. So now she wants to do that with, of course, her husband, Vision. So I don't think aliens are involved in this anymore. I honestly think, and it's actually a lot darker. You know, it's really funny. After the first 2, even 3 episodes are really kind of lighthearted with probably a mystery aspect of them. This is actually going to be quite dark, I think. So I really think that she is just sad. She's just sad. She has been brought back from the blip, and it even takes me back to Endgame a little bit. We have Wanda show back up, right? And I never really noticed it, but after watching Endgame most recently with my dad the other day, something caught my eye about Wanda. She's just torn apart, and not because of the blip. She's torn apart because of Vision. And she says, "You took everything from me." And then completely goes crazy on, of course, our big guy himself. You know, Thanos. Wow, that was an awesome fight. But it's really interesting because at the end of that movie, of course, we have Wanda standing there with I can't remember who, but they're kind of thinking to themselves, and she seems to be okay. I never really thought about it, but it just makes more and more sense that as time goes by, this show takes place from, according to what's been going on in this episode, this entire thing takes place only maybe 2-3 months after Endgame. 2-3 months after bringing everyone back from the blip. She's probably just sad and depressed. And her form of depression is Crazy Town. I mean, I hate to say it, but straitjacket anyone, toss her into the nut house. But it is really, really sad. And she could have. What's really interesting is the thought that she would bury Vision, right? And maybe she was going to go bury Vision, and instead of burying Vision, as she looks upon him, she just goes mad, and her powers explode from there. And we even get a very shocking glimpse of what Vision actually looks like. And he's dead. She's animating his mechanical. It's Vision is both biological and mechanical. It's really weird, but she's animating his corpse. She's married his corpse. She's making a world where she never had to let Vision go. She married Vision, her boyfriend. She's about to have kids with him, and everything is in Happy Land. And she doesn't want anything to take that away from her. Okay? And her powers just explode from there. Now, what's really interesting is everything else that happens in this episode. So we got Monica Rambeau, which I believe she was the little girl from Miss Marvel, right? Captain Marvel. I'm sorry, not Miss Marvel. Captain Marvel. I believe she is from there. She got erased, but now she's back from the blip. We get to show what happened to her. She's back at the hospital. Turns out her mother passed away 3 years ago. She is just having quite a time. Well, she is a sword agent, and she goes back to sword. And they got a job for her. Apparently, some officer who was working on a disappearance case, a search for someone. Actually, we know this guy. He's the cop. I think his name is Wu. He's the cop from Ant-Man. That's kind of a nice tie-in. The problem is his missing persons case has turned into a missing people case. And not even that, a missing town case. A town that does not exist. And he's even asked a couple of cops. The cops were standing there right in front of the town street, right in front of the town billboard that said Westtown. They're not from Westville. They're not from Westview. They're from Eastview. They never heard of Westview. So we got a town that we don't even know why it's there. It doesn't exist. What the heck is going on? So of course, they got Sword to deal with it. And of course, Monica Rambeau, of course with Wu, goes to none other than the space, and she tries to fly in drones to it, but out of nowhere, it kind of glitters away. She gets closer, and I'm going to call it a force field. I'm sure there's a more special name for it, an electromagnetic wave of magical field. It's Wanda's magical powers creating a force field, of which her own space is caught into that force field. And she goes near it, and she gets pulled into the world of WandaVision. When she disappears, Sword has to do everything they can to figure this out. They bring in chemists, biologists, and they actually bring in a space physicist from forgive me, I do not know her name, but she is actually from the movie Thor. She is from the movie Thor. They bring her in on this case, and she is just working with her technology when she notices something really weird. The radiation is off the charts. It's safe now, but it's rising. And if whatever is going on in WandaVision doesn't stop, the radiation could get seriously important, which is very interesting because really when you think about it, it does make sense that her powers give off some type of radiation because the stones give off some type of radiation, and her powers are similar to the stones, and she was able to actually destroy the stone that was, of course, on top of Vision's head, which, yeah, it just makes sense that the radiation is high, but she notices that there's something else, that there's almost some other wave, some sort of television wave, right? She asked for an old television, and lo and behold, we have nothing but WandaVision on TV. S.H.I.E.L.D. gets to watch WandaVision. They get to watch the first episode of WandaVision. Then we are watching the second episode of WandaVision, and they notice that she's next to a radio, right? So they think that they can get to her through radio waves. So they broadcast a radio wave of Wu saying, "Hey, Wanda, who's doing this to you, Wanda?" That's what happens in episode 2. And what's really interesting is just like what happens in the show, what they see on TV when something goes wrong that Wanda doesn't like, it glitches. The TV glitches. And that glitch is WandaVision doing something that she doesn't want anyone to know. Very interesting. Very interesting. Of course, we had that glitch when we had him calling out to Wanda, and then they send a guy through trying to find, of course, Monica, and she's like, no, she twists her finger, she snaps her fingers, and everything like kind of plays back. And then there was that moment in the last episode with Vision telling her that he doesn't know why he's there, that he's kind of worried, and she snaps her fingers, something glitches, and he comes down, and instead of saying that, he's like, but it's gonna be okay. You know, like nothing ever happened. And when it came to last episode, what happened to Monica was she started to remember Ultron. Wanda didn't like that, and so she sent her out of the magical field of her powers. But what's interesting is her powers are getting stronger. And what's really kind of scary is if it continues on like that, it's going to get the radiation, according to our scientists from Thor. The radiation is going to get pretty bad. Now, they haven't said this yet, but I wonder if the field is getting bigger. If this is going to cause some madness in of course, the Marvel Cinematic Universe world. And of course, that leads into our show or movie, Doctor Strange in the House of Madness. That's going to be interesting because we do know that this show, WandaVision, is supposed to lead up and go into that. So it's going to be really interesting. Yeah, episode 4 is my favorite now. And I'm pretty sure next episode is going to be my new favorite episode. Next episode, I'm guessing, is going to be, because we did see in the trailers Wanda and Vision in their like original costumes for Halloween. So I guess next we'll have a Halloween episode. And what's really going to be interesting is now, what are they going to do? They have to get back in there. They have to put a stop to this. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. And that moment, I'm not kidding, that moment when we had Vision's corpse, when we realized that it was Vision's corpse, Vision walks in, Wanda looks up, and it's Vision's corpse. He looks dead. That was actually a pretty good jump scare, and I'm not kidding. I actually got jump scared by that. Like, I was expecting to see his red face, right? No, that jump scared me, and it just looks so creepy having Vision's corpse talk to Wanda. I can't wait to see how this is going to go. I can't wait to see. But the biggest question is why? You know, of course the answer is she's gone mad, but like how? Why is her powers doing that? What the heck is going on with this show? I cannot wait to find out. Let me know down in the comments below. How did you guys like episode 4 of WandaVision? I loved it. It was nuts. It was crazy. Best episode of the series so far. Cannot wait to see more. Thank you guys for watching, and I really liked the sitcom aspect of the show, but I must admit, I'm really happy that we're starting to go into more information about what's actually going on behind the scenes. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I am out for now. Bye. WandaVision. Wanda. Who is doing this to you, Wanda? You are.